doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I want to say it's such an honor to speak with you. I've been a fan of yours for a long time, since like House of Anubis. I grew up watching you, so it's really
Thank
an
you so
honor.
much.
Thank you for taking the time.
Of course. Well, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me. It's my pleasure.
Of course. So I got to see the film. I really enjoyed it. I loved your character. So I'm really excited to jump right in.
Right?
First off, I want to ask you what originally attracted you to the project here.
Yeah, I think it was really cool to sort of step into a thriller horror vibe. You know,
Yeah.
I've done elements in my past that have sort of taken elements of sort of, maybe a little bit scary, maybe a bit more thriller, but this being a strictly, a horror thriller movie was a fun genre to sort of dip my toe in and sort of see what it was like. And sure enough, I had a lot of fun doing it.
So are you that sort of horror thriller fan? Are those the films you love to watch, or do you steer away from them? What do you go for?
Yeah, I can't say I'm like a savant of all when one comes out, I'm not first one in line, and some of them I go, okay, maybe that might take a little too much of my nerves away. But it's fun. I try to, watch a little bit here, watch a little bit there. And I think that's sort of a fun element of this movie, which is great, is you sort of get sort of like retro aspects of sort of like a slasher vibe kind of a thing, which is sort of a fun element of horror films that is sort of, classically brought back into a new age setting. So those kinds of films like Scream and stuff, I'm about them. So I fit right into the cast, I think. I think that's exactly where I needed to be.
Yeah. I agree with you. There has to be something about a horror film that I go to see. And it was the cast for this one, you and Sydney Park and everyone else.
Oh, exactly. They're all so talented and fantastic.
There you go. And I really want to ask you, is there something that specifically intrigued you about this character? I really liked your character, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, the role itself was just, and, in the movie was fantastic. And to be able to, my job as an actor, and one of the privileges of my, my career, is to be able to, embody and represent people and bring them to life on screen. So I think between the amazing content that, Stephanie Perkins wrote in this book and Henry adapted to a screenplay, I think, all of the characters, let alone mine, to be a part of a story like that had, intrigue and really well-rounded, rooted characters was, it's a blessing to find, roles that, I was honored to be offered.
And obviously this genre, there's so many good movies with this genre. So did you maybe take inspiration from any other performances that you're a fan of, or any horror movies that you're a fan of when you were doing this role?
Yeah, I would say that it was kind of cool to be able to sort of craft it collaboratively, I would say. Patrick Bryce, our director, did such a great job of, feeling out what we were thinking, sort of taking from, as I'd referenced, the book and also the screenplay and stuff that was written. So, for me, it was really fun to be able to sort of collaborate and build the character while I was there, and, obviously pre-production. I will say I did have to become a little more versed in how to play football. Caleb's a little bit of a football star, and me never having had any official football training, let alone I'm just passing a ball in the backyard with my dad kind of thing. So if you had to go into background training, that is something that I had to take on myself to kind of get a little bit more versed and not look as ridiculous on the football field.
It looks natural. You looked great. You did.
And I did my job. That's great.
And obviously another thing that comes with the horror genre and these fans is these insane deaths on screen. So I want to ask you, what was your reaction when you read some of these death scenes, and what can you tease for me?
Oh, wow. Yes. Well, I can't tease my favorite, although I can think of it right now and I'm cringing, but they are amazing deaths. To read them in the script, you get an appreciation. You go, oh my gosh. But from screenplay to film, things can differ and do it, but wow, they did not hold back. It was very, very interesting to be behind the scenes, to see it happen. Also, as a viewer, to watch it after. The gruesome aspects of this are very much, sort of eyes between the fingers kind of elements. So it was very cool to see all of that come to life. And I am very excited for horror fans, especially, and thriller fans, to see what they have in store, because I definitely had a few few of these moments where I was like, oh my gosh, that happened. So it was very cool.
It's perfect. That means there you go. It means it's perfect.
I loved it. So exactly. I'm thinking everyone else will, and I hope so.
And I have to imagine for you as an actor, one of the best parts is kind of when you officially wrap and then you get to actually see your work. So how did it feel for you when you got to actually watch the movie?
And you are so right. It's one of the fun parts is being able to put, the time and hard work into a project, and then you finally be able to see it, come to life. And it was really cool on something like this to see how they were able to preserve those sort of very dark elements of being able to sort of have this very sort of tunneled horror aspect where you're kind of on the edge of your seat, but you don't know why because it's shot so well. And I mean, that's an ode to our crew and DOP and our director. And so it was really great. And you hope for the best, you expect the best, and they absolutely delivered. It's a really, really cool movie. And I'm just so happy that everyone's hard work is very much represented into making a fantastic and fun film to watch.
Definitely. And I, of course, have to ask you to tease this as well. I know you cannot give me too much, but what was your reaction to finding out who the killer was?
So exactly, without saying too much, but I will try to choose my words. I can give a little background. As well as I'd like to think, mostly eagle-eyed fans of, this day and age, you love to try to see if you can guess it before you're told. Do you know what I mean? Can you tell who's behind the mystery? Who's the red herring? Who are you supposed to think, but it's not that person? So reading the script as well as seeing what got to the end stage to be on screen, I was thrown for a loop for my first read. And even when I was watching it, I was like, oh my gosh, like they've done such a good job of creating this story around a killer that you really have to watch to the end to figure out who that killer is. Yeah. So yes, it was very fun to read, and I think it's gonna be a very fun watch. And I challenge fans to figure it out. Did you know?
I had a suspicion, but those suspicions, you have like a million of them. So you have and I'm exactly like what you said. I have to, from the beginning of the movie, be like, okay, what am I looking for here? And looking for every clue in the book. So I did have a suspicion, but the way it was done, I mean, you can't predict that.
Oh, I know. It was just so beautifully done with them trying to, yeah, exactly. Because I want everyone to have a fair watch. So exactly. I agree with you. Beautifully done.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So I'm exactly like you. Fans are gonna have a good time with that.
Definitely.
And I want to give you a few little fun, creative questions here, of course. If you could take your character from this film and put him in another famous horror movie that maybe you're a fan of, which would you pick and why?
That's a very good question. Let me think. It would be very cool to bring this new age character. If I could bring him back to like the Scream eras, like we said before, I think with his knowledge of modern, also with a cell phone, I think we could wrap that movie up pretty quickly, if you ask me. So I think Caleb will be able to help out the victims of retro movies and at least give them a good football tackle to get them out of there. So I'm going to stick with that.
There you go. And then I am going to reverse the question on you. Which of your past roles would you have liked to see thrown into this film?
Ooh, that is a good question as well. Let me think. Well, I could say from my Beyond days as Holden that some of his abilities could definitely come in handy when trying to protect himself and his friends. So I think to thwart off the killer at certain times, I think a little fist pound could definitely have thrown him away. So keeping me safe, I'm going to go with that.
There you go. Perfect. And I want to ask you to create your best tagline or phrase to describe the film.
Ooh, best tagline or phrase to describe. So like from Caleb, are you saying? Or like from
Caleb, from the movie's journey, whatever you want to take from it, whatever you want to come up with.
Okay, cool. Try to consolidate the film into like a sentence. All right, let's say a group of high school seniors traversing senior life and being stalked by a killer who is scary. I don't know. I fizzled out at the end, but yeah, he is scary, so it's true.
Listen, you hit the nail on the head there. And then, like we discussed previously, this cast is just amazing. So I want to ask you, are there any memorable stories or moments that when you look back on this experience just stick out to you, like, wow, I really like that was a moment?
Yeah. But I mean, and I mean, you absolutely nailed it there too, where the cast was fantastic. I mean, to everyone involved it was really fun, like just fun camaraderie on set, and everyone was sort of, very friendly. We were such a big friend group by the end. It's lovely to have a work atmosphere, no matter what job you're in, to have, genuine friends and that are your coworkers. So it really was a fantastic time. Let's see, a specific story. Oh, there was a time where when we were shooting, we had Dale, he brought in his Nintendo Switch. That was huge.
Ooh,
Super Smash Bros. Brawl was all the rage. And I mean, it always still is. Give me Super Smash Bros. I'm gonna play it. So we, not between takes, but between setups or a cart move or something, I still vividly remember we'd be in the green room or somewhere else, and we would have 4 controllers hooked up to this thing, and we'd be playing video games between, and you'd be giving elbows to the guy that was winning and doing all that kind of stuff. So as I said, it was like hanging out with your friends while shooting an amazing film to have fun with. So it was just fun on top of fun. So yeah, we all got along, and they were amazing people.
And I have to imagine that was a good break too from all the craziness in the film.
Absolutely. You had death and horror over here, and you had fun Marios and Kirby's over there. So it was a nice switch. Yeah.
And the film has great dynamics between the characters. So I want to ask you, was there a personal favorite of yours that you're really excited for fans to see?
Yeah, I think that I think Caleb is sort of at the beginning sort of stuck and is sort of chastised, so he feels a little bit alone. And I think that McConaughey is sort of the first one that also calls him over, helps sort of bring him into the group. And Sydney, who I knew from before and was a fantastic, absolutely gifted actress. She was it was fun having that connection with her on screen, as well as just being amazing friends and colleagues off screen. So I think thinking back to the movie on and off, it was great to be able to work with her again.
Well, Burkely, this was such a pleasure. I so enjoyed talking to you. Thank you for taking the time.
Likewise, absolutely. Well, I'm glad that you enjoyed it, and like we said,
everyone
to see who else can figure it out. See who knows what's going on. Maybe they're smarter than us. I would not.
Exactly. Listen, you know what? You can't put it past these fans.
Oh, I know.
They go hard. I give them so many props. Like
the amount of credit where credit is due when people are able to see little things that I'll miss. Oh yeah.
Exactly. You're gonna see it all over when everyone figures it out. You'll see it all over.
They'll figure it out like that. I can only imagine.
Thank you so much again, and have a great rest of your day. All right, stay safe.
Absolutely. Likewise.
Bye.
See ya.